If you're anything like me, as you're beginning your songwriting journey, one of the biggest hurdles to overcome is the price tag. It wasn't too long ago that music creation solely took place in large studios with expensive gear, but in the modern era, creating music and songwriting is more accessible than ever. In this video, I'm going to show you my go-to pieces of equipment that I use every single day to write songs. And we can build an at-home songwriting setup for you for less than $500. Let's do it. Hey, my name is Birch. I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm a worship leader, and I'm an independent artist. And for the last 20 years, I've been writing songs for my church, for churches all over the place. And at the time of recording this video, my new single, Decided, has just released on all streaming platforms. I encourage you to check it out. I think you'll love it. I think it'll encourage you to follow the Lord, to lock in with Jesus, but also it'll encourage you to write your song, to take it out of your voice memo, to not just leave it in a notebook, but to actually take that song to the next level and release it to the world. I've got some gear with me here that I use on a regular basis to write and produce at home. When it comes to music creation, you've got to take your idea from inside your brain and being played live to being recorded and for you to be able to hear back. I want to start with the signal path that your song has to go down to go from your idea into a reality. And so each one of us have some form of a computer. Maybe it's a PC, maybe it's a desktop, maybe it's a laptop. I use a MacBook Pro, and this machine has an M1 chip processor in it. And there are far more superior machines than this computer, but I really recommend having some form of an Apple product, some Mac computer when you're talking about recording audio. There are PCs out there that are extremely powerful and extremely full of processing power and all the things that you need. But when it comes to recording music, you're really gonna wanna stick with Mac. And so I encourage you to either start with the Mac that you have or start saving up towards a Mac in the future. It's really gonna serve you well. So in addition to your computer, you're gonna need to have a digital audio workstation or a DAW. You're gonna need some application on your computer that's going to allow you to record the incoming sound. So there's all sorts of options out there, everything from free to really expensive. Some of those are Audacity or Logic or Ableton, Pro Tools, Cubase. There are all kinds of options out there. I would just go ahead and use either what you already have or what comes with your machine. Now, if you buy a MacBook Pro or any form of a Mac, you automatically get GarageBand for free. And it's not the greatest DAW out there, but it is one that you have. And I think no matter what you choose to do, start with what you have. If you already have a DAW, don't go out and buy one right away. Just use what you have, learn it, master it, do some research on some different ones, and when you're ready to level up, you go ahead and make that change and start using something that serves your needs a whole lot better. So now you've got your computer. Now you need to get your sound into your computer. Now your computer probably has a headphone jack or a microphone jack input or some microphones built in on board. You don't really want to use those as they're not going to give you the variety and flexibility and the quality that you're looking for when it comes to recording your song. So you're going to need an interface to get sound into your computer. And I recommend this Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This is an $100 give or take interface that has served me really, really well. I've had it for years. I've used it on a regular basis. It's got one input for a microphone, one input for an instrument. You've got the ability to record both of those at the same time. You can adjust gain. You can monitor real time with low latency right on this device. It's also got two stereo output on the back for you to be able to monitor. Say you have a pair of studio monitors or some speakers, you can use that to listen back, or you can use the recommendation I'm going to show you in a little bit in just a second. But this device is super cheap and it's durable. It's got a metal design. You could throw it in a backpack. It's not gonna get jacked up. I've had this thing for a couple of years and I still have the plastic on the front of it and it works great. I would recommend getting something like this. And if you're in a place where you're like, I'm ready to level up, I've used something similar to this, I wanna Maybe you want something that has better preamps or something that has some better processing. I've got something for you that you can level up as well. The next important piece of equipment in my setup is some form of an instrument. Now I play guitar and I'll record and write with my guitar pretty often, but I also recommend having a USB MIDI keyboard. This is made by Alesis. It's the V25. It's got 25 keys, and on board it's also got 8 drum pads, and it's got a couple of control knobs. A lot of features built into this machine. Most of these USB keyboards are compatible with every system. They're plug and play, so the minute you go from USB into your machine, it's gonna be immediately detected by your computer and ready to be used. I found that having a keyboard like this makes my life so much easier. You know, I play a little bit of piano and I play a little bit of guitar, but there's times when I'm songwriting where I need some drums or I need a bass, and instead of having all of that equipment on hand or having all of those instruments and so many microphones to mic those things up, I utilize a lot of samples and a lot of VST instruments, and they are all controlled by a MIDI controller. So this is a great thing to have on hand. You can not only play piano with this, but you can also play drums with it. You can automate certain features of your DAW to be controlled by the knobs on this USB keyboard. Overall, it's a great piece of equipment to have. And you're also going to want to have a sustain pedal to go along with it. I use the M Audio, M Gear line of sustain pedals. This sustain pedal, I mean, it's probably about like 15, 20 bucks on Amazon. And it's great. These things, here's what you got to know. These sustain pedals will break on you. And so it's good that they're not extremely expensive. Typically, if you are standing up and playing, you're going to go through these sustain pedals a whole lot faster than if you're sitting at them and playing. But the nice thing is they're not too expensive. So if and when they break on you, replacing them isn't that big of a deal. All right, so now we've got sound getting into our computer. We've got our DAW lined up. We've got an interface, and now we need to be able to record our vocal. So this is the microphone that I use. It's called the PreSonus PD70. It's a podcasting mic. I actually bought 2 of these when my wife and I had a podcast back during COVID, and it is very comparable to the Shure SM7B. You're probably very familiar with the Shure SM7B. It's one of those popular dynamic podcast mics out there. The reason why it's called a dynamic mic is that this is a microphone that picks up audio from directly what's in front of it. This microphone, as you can see, has been through its own little tumbles, and I don't know if I can get this to focus, but like it's fallen, it's taken some spills. I love it. It's got a very bright type of sound, and you know, you just kind of work some EQ so it doesn't sound too spicy when you're listening back to it. One of the things I like about this microphone as compared to the Shure SM7B is that this microphone does not need all of the gain that the SM7B needs. If you've ever used an SM7B, you probably already know that it needs something like a cloud lifter, or it needs an additional bump of gain to be able for it to be usable. But this microphone comes in nice and strong whenever you plug it into your DAW. But if you're looking for a mic that's great for this type of setup, the PreSonus PD70 is great for this. You're also going to need some form of an XLR cable to be able to get your microphone into your interface. You'll know that it's an XLR because it's got 3 prongs. Let's see if I can get this to focus. It's got 3 prongs right here, and this microphone cable has got like 3 little prongs in it that goes into your interface, and the other end, the female end, goes into your microphone. Hey, I just wanted to pause the video for 1 second to let you know about the sponsor of this video, BerchmanPaulJr.com. If you're a worship leader, a local church pastor, or part of a worship team, this is the hub where I share resources that'll help you build healthy worship culture, grow your team, and lead with purpose. You'll find free, yes, free resources you can download and use right now with your team. You'll also find a little bit of info about the new music that I'm releasing, the songs that I've written, and the sermons that I've preached. Maybe you have a very specific need, like quality preaching on a Sunday morning, or worship leading at your next conference,
Maybe you want to discuss growth and strategy and how to build a healthy team. I've created a booking page right here on the website. Fill that form out and that'll start a conversation between you and I about how we can collaborate on building your church. So after this video, take a second to check out BerchmanPaulJr.com. The link will be in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
Now that you've got all of your sound going into your computer through your interface, it's hitting your DAW, you're able to record, you're able to use a MIDI controller. You need to be able to listen to everything that you're making. You need to listen to the song that you're creating coming back out of your computer. And so a couple of simple options would be to use the AirPods or the wireless earbuds or headphones that you've already got laying around. If you got anything with an 1/8 inch port, you can plug that into the side of your computer. But I would use what you got. If you got some headphones, anything is going to work. Something is better than nothing. Once again, I don't recommend using the onboard speakers that are on your computer for multiple reasons. You're gonna start getting feedback. You're gonna start hearing things not as you should. But if you're looking for a pair of headphones, like the pair that I use these AKGs. These are the K240s. They're a over-the-ear headphone. They work really, really great. They're not an open back for mixing, but these give you a really good reference to the song that you're writing, to the track that you're working on. If you're a mix engineer, you're probably gonna want something that's gonna be a little bit more robust, something with some open back that allow you to mix a little more competently. But these headphones just slip right over the ears. They feel really comfortable. I've used them for long periods of time and not had any kind of ear fatigue or discomfort. But these are a great pair of headphones, and these are right around $55 at the time of recording on Amazon. But once again, use what you got. A couple of additional pieces of gear that you might want in your writing setup. You might gonna want a microphone stand. You know, you can just as easily record your vocal while holding your microphone, but they're these amazing, simple desktop table stands. They've got a weighted base, so they're nice and strong. They're not gonna go anywhere. It's got some padding and cushioning on the bottom, so it's not gonna leave any marks on your table or desktop. It's also gonna dampen the sound coming into all the rumbling and the table taps. It's gonna dampen that going into your microphone. You can also, you can have, so this is like fits right on your table, small and compact. But I also have this boom stand that, you know, it telescopes, it sets it on the floor. You can stand up and sing, depending on how you like to sing. Some people like to stand up and sing. You prefer not to sit down. This is a great stand from this. This is made by DR Pro. I'll also link this on the link in the description below. But it's a great stand, heavy duty. I've had this for years and it has not failed me. You can tighten it down really, really tight, and it's trustworthy. You can use it on stage, you can use it in studio, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. You're gonna want a 1/4 inch. This 1/4 inch is gonna go from your guitar into your interface, or maybe your bass into an interface. I recommend getting at least 10 feet, like a 10-foot 1/4 inch cable. Anything shorter than that is gonna start being kind of difficult to get comfortable while you play. You have to be really close to your interface. But they make them, all kinds of brands are making these, but you want a 1/4 inch cable that's gonna have just one ring around the top. This is for an instrument, as opposed to a TRS cable that's gonna have multiple. When you look at the tip of this 1/4 inch, you'll notice the difference in it being a 1/4 inch as opposed to a TRS cable. Once you get started recording, you're gonna notice that your Logic sessions, your Pro Tools sessions, your Ableton sessions, they are very large. There's so much information, multiple audio tracks, multiple MIDI tracks, VSTs. If you begin saving those project files directly onto your computer's hard drive, in a matter of no time, you're gonna run out of space. And so I recommend getting an external hard drive. The type that I use is this Samsung SSD. This is a solid state hard drive. This hard drive has no moving parts inside of it, as opposed to one of those spinning drives that it has to spin to write your information onto it. This Samsung T7 is a terabyte, and it's ultra fast. You hit save and it saves directly to this hard drive super quick, and you can get all of that extra information that's on your computer off of it by saving it on this external hard drive. You want to keep all of your virtual instruments, your sample libraries, things like that. You may want to keep that on your computer's hard drive, but all those extra files, those audio files, those bounces, you know, if you're into film or video editing, you want to keep your project files, keep those off of your hard drive so that you can free up space. But if you're going to do that, you're going to want something that's solid state, so it's got faster write speeds, and it's much more reliable. Here are a few honorable mentions, or a few ways to level up your writing setup. This Apollo Twin is my workhorse when it comes to recording myself. If you're familiar with the Universal Audio family of interfaces, you know that they're extremely powerful. They've got tons of features. It's very similar, very user-friendly to the Focusrite Solo, except this has got an additional XLR mic input, 2 on the back. It's also got on the front, it's got a place for your guitar or your bass or any kind of 1/4-inch instrument, and it's got, you get your headphone jack here. It's got this large knob in the middle, which is extremely satisfying. And one of the big differences between the Apollo and the Focusrite is bus powered, so you only need to use a USB-C to power it. The Apollo, you will need a separate power supply that it comes with, and it works great. It's a fantastic piece of equipment. And the beautiful thing about the Universal Audio family of interfaces is that you can record with little to no latency. Most of the processing that you're experiencing with Apollo plugins is happening inside this unit. So your computer is freed up of all of its processing power, and your preamps, your gain, your EQs, you can run that stuff on your interface, and you don't have to worry about bogging your computer down. So if you got maybe a computer with 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, this really helps cover a lot of ground for you. This is the Rode NT1. This is a great condenser studio microphone. It's not gonna break the bank, but it does a whole lot more than the dynamic microphones do. This is a great mic. I've used this on so many of my demos and have enjoyed using it. Rode also has this entire, this little shock mount system that you can put right on top of a microphone stand. Comes with a pop filter to limit all the plosives, those P and B sounds that maybe cut through or spike your waveforms while you're recording. You don't want those while you're recording. So this pop filter is going to limit those plosives a ton. So the Rode NT1, you can find it with a shock mount and pop filter on Amazon for less than 175 bucks. Maybe you're a little bit more skilled on keyboard and you want to be able to have a few more keys in just 25. I recommend this Nectar 61 key. This is a fantastic MIDI keyboard. It's got 61 keys on it, so you can really start to kind of play piano on this. It's got a bunch of features on board. It doesn't have the drum pads like the Alesis V25 did, but it's got some buttons here on board that you can automate and utilize if you want to record really quickly. So like, say, instead of having to click on your keyboard of your laptop to start a recording, you can map and automate those buttons right here. It's got everything you need from, mod wheel, pitch bend, a transpose button, and an octave button, and it's got 61 keys. It feels great. It's not gonna feel like a piano for all you piano players out there, but it's gonna be the next step up when it comes to MIDI controllers for your writing studio. All right, so I don't know about you, but the suspense is killing me. I want us to go ahead and talk through all of the gear that we just mentioned, add up the totals, and let's see how we did. All right, we start with our Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It was around $109 on Amazon at time of recording. PreSonus PD70, that goes for around $136, $137. We also talked about having a 25 key keyboard. We found one for about $100. We also talked about getting a sustain pedal, around $25. Some headphones, around $56, $55. A 1/4-inch cable for about $15. A tabletop microphone stand for about $30, and some XLRs for about 18 bucks. And after all that, our total is $491. Come on, somebody. We just saved a bunch of money and got ourselves outfitted with an amazing home songwriting setup. I'll leave a link to every item we discussed today in the description below, and you can consider picking them up. Every time you use one of those links, I do get a small commission. I stand by these products, whether you use them or not, whether you like them or not. I personally, as you can see, own every one of these pieces of equipment, and I love them. And so, but if you use them, there will be a little commission for me, and I appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for checking out this video. If you got value out of it, why don't you hit the like button, consider subscribing so you never miss another upload, and I'll see you in the next video.